Today I'm going to be talking about Australia's extinction crisis. Topics that we're going to cover include an introduction, the current threats to Australia's native flora and fauna, which include destruction of habitat, pests, climate change, and then lastly we'll cover ways to help. Australia is leading the world in mammal extinctions and has one of the worst track records of biodiversity loss in the world. Causes range from destruction of habitat all the way through to the introduction of invasive species to the incredible impacts had by climate change, which has led to the increase in occurrence and severity of large bushfires, floods, and droughts. Hundreds of Australian species are currently listed as threatened or critically endangered. In the past decade, more than 500,000 acres of threatened species habitat has been destroyed. Of that, 72% was for mining purposes, with the remainder being mostly for housing development because of urban sprawl. Large areas of land are also cleared every year for farming without proper approval, and therefore are hard to gauge as to how much is destroyed. The destroyed habitat, whilst depriving native species of food and shelter, causes a decline in the overall health of the soil and is a contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, which have further impacts on the native species. When Europeans colonised Australia, they unleashed a torrent of pests onto the native animal species. Over 80% of Australia's species are found only in this country. As a result, they never had a chance against introduced predators like the cat, fox, or dog. The humble rabbit is the single largest pest in Australia, covering approximately 2/3 of the entire continent. Feral cats are definitely one of the most prolific killers, killing hundreds of millions of native mammals, reptiles, and frogs every year. And from the European carp in waterways, which are now found in all states and territories except for the Northern Territory, to the European rabbits on the land, these animals have a lasting impact on Australia that is still costing millions of dollars per year. Climate change is also a big factor in the extinction crisis. It impacts Australia in a number of ways, the most obvious being fires, heat waves of which we seem to break records every summer, floods and droughts that are becoming more and more common, and as a result they are altering the species' habitats and entire ecosystems. During the Black Saturday fires alone, over 3 billion mammals, birds, frogs, and reptiles are estimated to have been killed or displaced. The higher temperatures in Australia as a result of climate change are also affecting the water, with an increased ocean temperature resulting in increased marine heat waves, resulting in the death of coral, mangroves, and kelp forests. How you can help. First thing you can do is demand stronger environmental laws and protections from both your state and federal government member. Demand an end to coal and gas and all fossil fuels. Net zero emissions is the only way to stop greenhouse gas production. Research your financial investments. Demand that your superannuation fund only invests in sustainable companies. It can be as simple as volunteering with your local environmental group to tackle problems on a local level. Thank you.